Hey, Chase with EOTECH on the range today with guys from Blue Bearing and Unit Solutions. We got Jason down here, the man who needs no introduction, Kyle Morgan, and the beautiful, as always, Blake. And today we are running the 20 Alpha drill for the drill of the month. So I'm going to let Kyle and Blake take it away.
Yeah, so I'm going to explain the why this drill is important, or why this is one of our core drills at Blue Bearing that we run. But before I get into that, I think it's great to highlight that Unit Solutions with their Unit 4, the non-lethal training platform and rifle, is a fantastic tool that you've seen us using for all our close quarters battle, our protector mindset courses, the structure takedown, home defense type course. But now we're gonna be able to do this live together, and then we're also going to do a version with the Unit 4 of this same drill. So the drill itself it's called 20 Alpha. I didn't make this drill up. This is Daniel Horner. This is his drill. He exposed us to back in, I don't know, 2012, 2013. And he worked for Army Marksmanship Unit, and we would bring in the best shooters in the world for periods of time to isolate and to grow as shooters for ourselves, and then connect the dots operationally. We're going to do it with rifle, and then we're going to do it with pistol. The parameters for this drill, it's shot from 20 yards with an IPSC target, and we're going to shoot 4 or 5 round strings. With rifle, the par time is 2.5 seconds. It's challenging. Start position is going to be base of stand. So on the buzzer, bring it up 5 shots, do that 4 times. We'll run that with rifle, then we'll run it with pistol the same way, except for the time is 3.5 seconds from the draw. A couple things with this drill is when we go up and score the rifle and the pistol, if we're hitting 20 alphas, if we're getting 20 A's on both weapon systems from 20 yards, that's really good. But that's an indicator for you to decrease the time, right? And then conversely, if you go up there and you don't have but 5 alphas, then shorten the distance up. So decrease the distance. So maybe do it from 10 or do it from 15, but keep the time the same until you can get back and get your hits at 20 yards. And then once you're getting your hits consistently around 17 alphas with both weapon systems, then you can start to play with the time and just decrease it by 1/4 second, increments. So we're gonna run this and get some individual times for everybody out here. But when we go up and score it, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the drill.
Yep. And then like you said before, we're going to run it with the Unit 4 rifle from Unit Solutions, which would be cool because we're going to run it probably a little bit closer.
We'll probably do it from 12 to 15 yards. Yep. So
that'll be an interesting comparison. You guys can see, the effectiveness of the round, the way they designed that projectile to work in a very similar fashion to 5.56 within that range envelope. It'll be interesting to see the differences in our times and how that goes.
And the only change is a little bit of the distance, but it's meant we're trying to show that you can do this in your garage.
Yeah.
And the way we'll explain the targets, how we set up the backers and everything, so you're not damaging anything in your own home. But we'll play with the times. We'll probably decrease the time a little bit, so where it's maybe 2 seconds to get your shots off, just based on the felt recoil and stuff.
So after you guys finish this video, go watch that one.
So start position is if you look down your sights, and you got your reticle on the target, aim at the base of the stand, and that's the start position. So the target stand itself. 2.50. 2.37. 2.33. 2.35. 229. 249. 252. 250. Good. Good. Your timing was spot on, Jason. 270. 224. Somewhere right in between those two. All right, stand by. 197. 274.
Playing with it.
303. Good. 265. 239. Spot on. 239. That was good. That last string was great. 224. 201. 193. 214. That was really good, man. Yeah, so for everybody, I gave you individual times. When you do this drill, like, you got to get your own individual times, or else if you try to do this as a group, you're not going to get the data that you need, because everyone kind of experienced, what 2.5 second feels like, and then what the target is. We're going to validate on the target. When you have those runs at under 2 seconds, if your shots are there, like on Blake's run just now, like, I would say we need to decrease the time standard, because when we score this, I'll talk about it when we go up there, but if you're getting 20 alphas, decrease the time to where you get, it opens it up a bit, and now you get 16 to 18 alphas around there, and then hold that time as your new standard, right? So there's two ways to mess around with this, but if you were over time on a couple of the strings, this is about how you can build consistency, and then with speed, but also with that level of accuracy, holding yourselves accountable, and in maximizing the time allocated. And then, if you were just a 1/4 second over, like, and then you had a string that you were a 1/2 second under, like, there's plenty of room there for you to find that sweet spot for this drill. All right, so let's drop rifles, and now we're gonna do it with pistol. 4 or 5 round strings, 3.5 seconds, pistol only from the draw. Shooter ready. Stand by. .382. Obviously, those last 3 you're trying to squeeze it in.
Yeah.
309. 325. 320.
4.13. 3.66. 3.57. 4.05. 2.88. 3 flat. 2.92. 3.11. 3.14. 3.52. 3.33.
Slow.
Remember, just trust it, okay? I promise it's gonna be there. That's why I got so used to staccatos. Much better. 3.60. That's way better. 3.28. 2.73. That was good, and those were good hits.
All right, so let's go up and score them.
All right.
So we shot the two courses of fire, 4 or 5 round strings with rifle, 4 or 5 round strings with pistol. And in the caption, we can put the parameters for the drill, just so people know, what target we used, and then the times and the distances and stuff. The way you score this when you come up, it's going to be easier to count what you're out. So with rifle, I am 1, 2. So what I'll do is come up here and just put down 2 and then subtract that from 20, right? So that's 18 alphas, right? 18 alphas with rifle. And then with pistol, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 16 alphas. For that course of fire, remember I talked about the sweet zone or the sweet spot, right? So anywhere from 16 to 18. You know, Daniel Horner holds himself accountable to 17 alphas. And that's where that's the zone that he's kind of really dialed in. And then once he's hitting that mark, he's happy with it. If he's exceeding it, meaning he's getting 18, 19 alphas, 20, he decreases the time, right? But once again, when you do this, if you can't get between 16 to 18 alphas with either weapon system, at 20 yards, start at 10 or start at 15, run it with the same time constraints, right? With rifle, 2.5 seconds, with pistol, 3.5 seconds. And then once you're happy with that, you're in that sweet spot, then push the distance back. Once you get to 20 yards, now you just have the time to play with. And really, as you start to get down into take quarter seconds off and then maybe tenths of a second, right? To find that sweet spot for you. So let's see what else we got. So go ahead and score your targets, guys. Is it favoring left still?
Yeah, well and low, yeah.
Oh, it's. I remember before though.
Yeah,
it was here.
Yeah,
right.
I was concentrating on my grip this time.
Yeah. So now it's just point of aim, like hold a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And you maximize this whole A zone box.
Right. I was yeah.
Literally
had. I mean, they move that up, and you're.
Yep. Is this your first time shooting, Chase?
Yeah, I've never shot a gun before, but it's pretty cool. I like it.
No, I know, but that's where. Even if you're a novice shooter, like this drill, run it at 10. I do it with classes, like varied levels of skill. We do it from 10 yards.
Yeah.
Because I mean, massive deviations in levels of skill. We're not there to crush people, but I explain how you challenge yourselves. You know, you challenge yourself, right, individually. But as a collective, we shoot this from 10 with people that have never really even shot pistol, and then people that have shot for a long time, and you're able to really push individuals, and then give them something to take home and work on.
Yeah, well, and it gives you such great feedback too, right? Like before we were talking about maybe it was
the grouping piece of it,
the grouping
right?
piece.
So whether
of it,
it's a zero or point of aim issue versus a grip issue or a trigger control, or you know, that's a great point that we brought up. That if you're grouping, it's improbable that you're doing the same, humanly improbable that you're doing the same mistake every single time. Now, outside of anticipation, sometimes you see people that anticipate that like every single time they zero to a flinch almost. But if I'm seeing groups, I err towards make that bold correction.
Yeah. With
your point of aim or with your zero shift. After you've got up here and you've scored it, you've wrote down your scores. This drill is intended to be shot multiple times. You know, Daniel Horner uses this as a warm-up, right? So he warms up for 100 rounds or more. Or we'll spend a half a day just doing this drill, the 2 variations of it with pistol and rifle. But you can get a ton of reps with the same IPSC target by just making sure that you mark these holes, you know, to where they're distinguishable between the next shots. If it breaks the line, you get the next score up. But it's intended to where you can come back and just go right back and run this again, and just keep running it. And I highly encourage when we do this to do it over 100 rounds. So five times, you know, 20 rounds each time, with both weapon systems. All right, so that's the 20 alpha. Just like with anything we do, I like to get, you know, feedback from the students, from other people, competent shooters, you know, of any thoughts, any takeaways from the drill.
Yeah, so for me, you know, I was playing with time constantly, so that was always a stressor for me, and it was definitely, you know, what I noticed is that would also kind of determine how I was floating around all over the target. So remembering that I had the whole 2.5, 3.5 seconds for the drill, whatnot, was definitely key. I'm definitely looking forward to being able to kind of show how you can do this same thing with a Unit 4 and more of like a closed environment too. So it lets people access that, you know, same environment that you're experiencing out here, lets you be able to access that, you know, hey, I don't have time to go to the range. I'm a busy dad or mom, and I need to be able to still train, lets you be able to do this at home as well, so.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, the first time you do it, it's a bit of a shock, the time, but man, once you do it a couple times, it's like, man, that's a lot of time. And then it's like, all right, am I going too fast? So no, that's great. That's great feedback, man.
Yeah, just seeing the difference in competency with rifle and pistol. So for the rifle, I was more really trying to find that sweet spot with time, like you talked about, and you know, holding. I think got 8.
We're
Bless you.
done.
You know, had 18 in, but with pistol, like we were talked about before, was whether my grip was off or I don't think visually I was processing what I needed to. I was rushing that dot because the time felt tighter with the pistol, even though I had more time. So, you know, that's a little bit of a competency thing there. So that was just great to be able to see the disparity there and then be able to work on it and get immediate feedback.
Yeah. No, everyone did really well, man. And just to recap the drill really quick, 20 Alpha, I didn't create this. Daniel Horner, in my opinion, he's the best shooter in the world with any weapon system you put in his hands, and one of the most humble instructors you ever meet. Met him when he was in the Army at the Army Marksmanship Unit. Now he works for SIG. But this drill, as he explained to me, was a warm-up for him. He'll sit there and do a half a day and just, you know, hundreds of rounds with this. We obviously aren't professional shooters, so I would recommend if you do this, plan on doing it for 5 times each weapon system. That's 100 rounds. I think that's manageable, and you could do that within an hour and get some really good feedback. It's one of many drills that you should be leaning on to help hold yourselves accountable. You can use this every now and again as a cold start to see where you're at, but don't just do the cold start. Like, also use that opportunity to continue to grow as a shooter. It's a great balance between speed and accuracy, and then timing, understanding, you know, how to maximize the timing and then how to challenge yourself. But we all just have to continue to train. You know, that's the thing I close out with all our videos on Patreon. And it's a lifestyle, it's a mindset, right? I haven't arrived. So that's why we're here. This is the drill of the month thing from EOTECH, but we got Unit Solutions, Blue Bearing, you know, out here to continue to train.
Yep. All right, guys, that was the drill of the month. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments how it goes for you. Go out and shoot it. It's the whole point, right? We're bringing you information so you can go train and better yourself. Subscribe to Blue Bearing's Patreon because they have a lot more of this awesome content. Follow Unit Solutions on all the socials and the YouTubes. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Train hard, live free. See you next time.